Hi, my name is Mackenzie Stanley. I am the owner of Driftwood Ceramics. We are a pottery studio located in North Kansas City, and we have been open for about 3 years. We just moved to this location. We do a lot of different types of classes, from date nights to kids classes to more instructional month-long classes, so come check us out. You can find us at 1827 Buchanan Street. You can follow us on Instagram at Driftwood_Ceramics or Facebook at Driftwood Ceramics. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to throw a bowl on the wheel. We do a lot of wheel classes, so this is something that you might do if you took one of our classes. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my ball of clay. I'm going to find the center of the wheel. I'm going to smack them down, get them nice and attached to the wheel. I'm going to find a nice medium speed to this wheel, add some water to the clay, and first I'm going to start to center. So I'm taking some wobbles out of the clay by coning the clay up and down, holding my hands tight and steady so that I can take some wobble out of it, get it spinning smoothly with the wheel. The next step, I'm going to find the center and I'm going to drop a hole down into the clay. This is opening up the clay. What I'm doing here is finding the floor thickness, and then I'm going to start pulling the wall out a little bit so that I am widening the hole. I'm making the floor wider. So this kind of depends on what you're making, how wide you want your floor to be. Since I'm making more of a bold shape, I kind of want something a little bit wider. So I'm pulling it out, smoothing out the floor with my sponge as I go, getting some of this water out of there. The water likes to break down the clay, so I don't want to use as much water as I go, just because now I'm going to start to make the walls thinner. And again, since the water breaks it down, we kind of want to keep things nice and stable. So after I smooth out my floor, I'm going to add a little bit of water to the sides, and I'm going to start to pull the walls up. So I like to use my finger holding my sponge slightly, and I give the clay a little pinch from the base. This is grabbing onto the clay. Then I'm dragging my hands up, making it taller, loosening the pressure slightly as I get towards the top. And at the top, I will compress the rim to get them nice and round and smooth. After I do one pull, I'm going to go ahead and do it again. So I'm going to grab a little bit of clay from the base. After I pinch onto that clay, I'm going to go ahead and bring them up, making them a little taller and a little wider as I go, since I'm making a bold shape. Now that I pull the walls the height that I want them to be, the thickness that I want them to be, I'm then going to go ahead, take my sponge, soak up all the water that I have from the inside, smoothing out the floor one more time just in case I kind of mess some things up with my finger. And after I smooth some things out, I'm going to clean up the bat so I can see everything that's happening around my clay. Clean up your pot, just so you know exactly the shape, the feel, and everything that's happening. I'm then going to do a pre-trim at the bottom, so I take this little wooden stick tool, I cut some clay off so that in the next step, after this has dried out for a day or two, I can trim it, clean up the bottom. You do that at a later date because the clay is so wet and gooey right now that you kind of have to wait for it to be more of a dry state. It's called a leather hard stage. And at that stage, I can really take care of the bottom of this pot, clean it up, give it a nice foot look. So after I kind of clean them up a little bit, I'm going to do one pass over it with this tool. This is called a rib tool. This is a rubber rib. They come in a lot of different materials, but the rubber is my favorite. I like this little yellow one because it looks like a banana. I think it's very funny. And I'm going to go ahead, having my hand support from the inside. I'm going to touch them from the outside, and you can see it's just smoothing over the clay. And with this, I can shape my pot. So I can kind of move the clay slightly as I want to from the outside and from the inside with just a little bit of pressure until I get the shape that I want it to be. When I kind of get the shape I want it to be, I'll do a last compression at the rim. And from this point, we'll kind of let some things dry out before I take care of the rest of it. So the clay will shrink just a little bit once it's been fired, so it won't be this size. It's just a tiny bit smaller, but it'll have a finished bottom to it and everything once it's completely done. Okay. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching. Again, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. Our name is Driftwood Ceramics, and please donate to Foster Adopt Connect. They're great people doing great things and need some support. So thank you guys so much.